Hi everyone, this is Tammy, owner of Worthyworthitpriceless, and today's podcast is titled Dream Big, Invest in Yourself. So recently I came up with this idea that I needed a scrapbook for. Now, for the most part, scrapbooks are around 12 by 12. So what I ended up doing is going on hobbylobby.com and just looking at their scrapbooks. And by the grace of God, they're half off this week. So I went up there and I was looking at theirs. Even if they were half off, they were still a little bit pricey, not super pricey, but in certain ways I'm somewhat cheap. So I went to Walmart, and what I ended up doing is I found a binder that was $1. And I found some sheet protectors, and they were 88 cents for 10 or 20. So I ended up buying two of them. So I'm like, yes, I'll come home I thought I fulfilled it. But what ended up happening was that was not big enough, because it was just basically the size of a piece of paper, and I needed something bigger. So the next day I went right back to Hobby Lobby. And when I went back onto the aisle for the scrapbooks, I found one that was actually cheap. It was on sale. It's for about $6, put it that way. It was on clearance. And then, but it wasn't like a three ring binder. So I'm like, man, I can get this $6 one, but I would somewhat settle. So I seen one that was $12. Cool. So I was like, all right, we're going to go with this one. And then for some reason, I wasn't all the way satisfied with it. Literally, I went around the corner. Now, mind you, this is $12. And then I was going to get an extra, just a refill pack of screen protectors. And I think that would have been $17. So just keep this in mind. It's going to make sense in a second. So I ended up going around the corner, and what do I find? I find a scrapbook, the one that you see on the cover. If you don't see it on the cover, depending on where you listen to the podcast, it says Dream Big on it, and it's an imitation leather scrapbook. But anyway, so I'll go around the corner, and I see this scrapbook, and it is $34.99. Half off, it is $17. And the funny thing about this one is, even though it's not a 3-ring binder, it has 50 screen protectors inside. So if I would have went with the three ring binder, I cannot get that word out, I would have paid for that and extra refills. So that probably would have been 30 screen protectors. But I would still need to spend more money to equal out the same amount. And so I said all of that to say a lot of things, because God just blessed. It was it's so many things to unpack with that. But one, my blessing was literally around the corner. That's one. Two, a lot of times we try to settle in our life, and God wants more for us. He wants us to dream big. I tried to settle initially the first day by going to Walmart and just getting a regular binder and, doing it the cheap way. The second day I almost settled as well, because I was going to get one that was on clearance for $6. I was going to settle a third time and didn't even know it, with getting the 3-ring binder and then just buying the extra screen protectors. But what I didn't know was my blessing was literally around the corner. And even on that one, it says Dream Big on it. It's just so many things. But that's the problem with us sometimes. If you're in the market to get something, just keep it on the business tip. If you're in the market to get something, get what you really want, or what you really need. It's like quality versus quantity or whatever, like basically, because what happens is what we do, like if I would have bought the $12 one, I would have had to keep buying more and more screen protectors, and it really would have cost me more money in the end to just equal up to what I have now. And so a lot of times that's what happens with us in business and sometimes in life. We want to go with what is cheap, but what in the end it's going to cost us more money anyway. So you might as well just buy what you really need up front the first time if you're already in the market for doing it, then versus buying something and basically having to buy it 2 and 3 more times just to equal up to what you have. And then also don't be afraid to just basically invest in yourself. It's an investment. This scrapbook is something that I'm going to need. And now that I have the one that I have, it's going to outlast the other ones that I was going to get that was cheap. The one that was $6, it was in fabric. I have a daughter, and there is no way that I could get something for the most part that has fabric over it, because she paints, she writes, all of that stuff. So that would have been ruined immediately. And purple is like one of her favorite colors. So that would have been ruined. The other one, it was, even though it was a 3-ring binder, it was same issue. Like it would have got ruined. And also too, it wasn't big enough. And so a lot of times we settle. But what God is saying, that what we're settling, our dream isn't big enough. He wants us to dream big. He wants us to know that we can do all things through him. It doesn't say some things, and that's even in the Bible. It doesn't say some things. We can do all things through him. And so if he has given us an idea, he's given us that idea because he's going to allow it to come to pass. And sometimes our dreams are too limited. If you even look at the whole process, my dream was too limited. I tried to compensate by trying to get one that was cheap, one that was a little bit, cheaper. And then at the end of the day, God is like, no, dream big. It's time for us to invest in ourselves. If he's given us a dream, invest in that dream. Don't be afraid to get what's necessary for that dream to come to pass. Nothing that you do will be wasted. Even if it doesn't work out this time, you can use some of those skills for other things. I've noticed that even in my own life, even though everything that I tried out in the past didn't work out, like business wise, I'm using that now with the podcast. I'm using that now with all the other endeavors that I do. So at the end of the day, nothing is wasted. And I'm also able to help others with their business because of all the knowledge that I have gained from going to school for retail or anything else. So at the end of the day, nothing is wasted. All your experiences, God can use everything, and more than likely will use everything that you have on the inside of you. So invest in yourself, dream big, and also don't forget, your blessing could be literally right around the corner. So don't give up. Always know that you have worth, you have value, you are worthy, worth it, and priceless. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast. Until next time, love you guys. Bye.